of things that I wanted to express to you guys. I know it's been a long time since I posted my last video, and I'm here to share some good things. And I truly believe that we're all trying to seek an answer, but sometimes when you seek for that answer, you will find. So I wanted to do today's method. I wanted it to be about power of prayer because a lot of us are asking for things in a very lax state of mind. And I've been there myself. I've been there many, many times. Let's talk about it. I said, what a perfect way to get this off the sheets and just not pretend that it's not there, but it is. It is. It is. It is. So today, there was a verse that I learned through someone, and that was through my personal trainer. He taught me this verse, which is Mark 11:24. And basically on this verse, sorry, it says, therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. This prayer right here, Mark 11:24. So I know a lot of us want a lot of things in life. We do. We do. We all do. I do. All of us do. Our kids do. Our pets, all of it, because I want to say this. We don't ever stop. Like, our energy is very potent to where it keeps going. It never really truly stops, not even when you sleep. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. I've been doing a lot of research. I've been doing a lot of knowledge when it comes to neuroscience, spirituality. I do the mysticism as well. I do have a business in tarot. I do have a gift, and so do you. And I've learned from all of these things, and reading books, by the way, and studying the 33 degree, and also, connecting with source, which is within you. And I believe that we all are part of that extension of the creation, which is therefore God. I don't want to name a specific other entity because I don't believe that we should name it a certain way because that's how I know it to be. And also, what I wanted to educate you guys on the power of prayer is very important that you know what it is that you ask for. It already is yours. It is done. The minute you ask for something, it is done. There's something you have within you, right? There's something, whatever that's a desire, a goal, anything you want, or I would say want, because there is a difference between a want and a need. It's chlorophyll. Don't freak out. So, I wanted to share with you guys today. It's very important that whatever it is that you ask for, you're very specific, very, very specific in details. If you're not specific, the universe is going to give you possibly something you were similar to or not exactly what you were asking for. So, power of prayer is very important. And I wanted to educate you guys on there is a verse in the Bible. It's the Our Father prayer, which is Matthew 6:23. It starts with Our Father that is in heaven, thy kingdom come, and so forth, right? I'm not going to go over the whole prayer because it's in the Bible. You can go look it up. However, I wanted to put the power of what it is that you're asking for. It has to be something so strong that nobody can know. Nobody, not me, not you, only God knows. And I know a lot of you guys get confused because you're like, well, how is he supposed to know? Or she. We don't have an entity as far as what it's an unseen force. And I was reading my Bible, and there's a verse that I was reading in between the Matthew 6:23, which is our Father, where he talks about when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. The unseen was something very keen to me. Mind you, I have already read this verse so many times, but I read it last night when I was starting to map out my board as to what am I going to talk about today, just to give me my perspective as to how I'm going to speak it to you guys. I didn't want to try to micromanage. I just wanted to come out with the flow with feminine energy. as I know it to be. What that meant for me in the unseen is that nobody can see it. Not your grandma, not your best friend, not your coworker, not your lover. I wouldn't even recommend family. I wouldn't. As much as we're supposed to be connected, or to your neighbor, I believe that something that you really truly want should not be spoken about to anybody. This is something you do not spill. The minute you do that, guys, I realize that the minute we do that, our force gets taken away, our creation, which is flow feminine energy. Therefore, whenever we're expecting something, it's because you are expecting an external factor of validation from these people, or vice versa from the outside world. But you got this idea, you got this desire, you've got this dream, you've got this goal, you want this, that, whatever it may be. You want this mansion, you want your husband, you want your wife, you want a child, you want a pet, you want a G-Wagon, you want it all, you want that Dolce Gabbana or whatever it may be. Put it in the list, okay? And when you ask for this, you have to be specific in the moment of when you feel that. So when you're asking in prayer, it has to be very strong. It cannot have any lack energy. It cannot be in need, because there's a difference between a need and a want. A need is something that you're lacking. And a want is a desire. It's something you want, a something. Even a child, for God's sakes, always says, Mom, I want this toy. Mom, I want this. This is that. The list goes on. You know how kids are. Kids are very magical. They're very creative because they are in that flow state. They don't believe on the external factors. So that's why they say a child can manifest a lot faster. I don't even want to say manifest, Polly. I would say it's a way of attracting what it is that they desire, because it's something that they know, and it's like a repetition, because they're just so used to it. They know it's a familiar thing for them. However, for us as adults, we weren't taught that. At some type of way, there was some type of mishap, and it happens because it starts from our DNA. Anyways, I don't want to get into that. That's another topic. But today I wanted to educate you guys on how important it is that we do not spread the seed. When you plant a seed, we do not let anything get near it. We actually nurture it. We water it. If we see weeds starting to creep in, we pull those weeds out. We make sure that it's taken care of, and if it needs nutrition, we add something to make that plant, survive. But it thrives off of love. It thrives off of love, meaning there is no need. It just knows. It's unseen. The way that a plant grows and it blooms a flower, it's also unseen. There's no explanation. It just keeps going. There's no time frame. There's no a specific why or how that is supposed to happen. It just does what it needs to do, and you do the same thing too. So therefore, I said, let me express this to you guys in a way that it might stick. And if it doesn't, it's okay. It wasn't meant for you. And that's completely fine. It's going to stick for whoever needs to hear it today. That's something that I had to teach myself also, because there were certain things that I was telling people and I shouldn't have never spoken about my dreams and desires. So now I keep quiet. I only help people that are in that same state, that I know I have to be of service to tell them what it is that they need to do and not to do. Because some of us are too afraid to ask. And that feminine energy, that's what it needs. You need to ask and you need to listen. So therefore, here I am. What this requires is a lot of faith. It's a lot of faith. A lot of faith. You have to believe in who you are. Therefore, you are the kingdom of heaven. There's so many forces that are unseen, and there's more than what you can think of that are out there. There's so many entities. There's so many unforeseen events, guys, because we can shift into these energies. Okay? So I wanted to plant out to you guys. You want to start with the desire. What is it that you want? And this is where I say, do not tell nobody. Please, nobody. It's your secret. This is where you start with your desire. First off, you have to visualize this in your possessions as it already is done. In this prayer, it says, therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. So whenever you ask for something, what is it that you desire? Because you have to know that it's yours. You're going to see it. It's already yours. The method that I've also learned from everybody, that everybody does it because we strive off survival. We strive off of the ego. This is how we know how to survive and protect and so forth. But that is just an illusion. You have to let go of how this is going to happen and when and why. Because if you're attaching yourself to this thing, that means you don't know that you can receive something that is already yours, because you're whole already without this thing. Remember that. There's a reason why you got that idea. And then third step is you have to take action. You have to take action. If there's an idea you get, you have to take action. I don't care what anybody tells you. You yourself have to take this action, not the person you're telling this to, because again, that person might steal your idea, baby, and they become the world next billionaire. This is why it's important not to tell people your ideas, your dreams, your goals. You're not supposed to say. He'll give it to the next person. And receiving is the last part. See, knowing that what you ask for is already yours, because when it comes, and it will, you have to be prepared to say, everything's in flow state. And this is how it continues to come to you. The current continues to flow to you. A lot of people miss the ball because you get opportunities. You get an unexpected offer. You get an unexpected gift. Or you get invited somewhere and you turn it down because you just don't feel like it's yours, or you don't feel like you want to. I'm going to share a story which happened to me Sunday on a day before the full moon in Capricorn. So I was talking to my daughter and I was telling her how bad I really wanted ice cream. I don't know why. It just came into me in my mind's eye, which is my third eye, my thought process. And I was talking to her via FaceTime and say, you know what? I really, really want an ice cream. And I told her that. And I just started laughing. And I saw in my mind's eye, like in between this, I wanted a Starbucks Java chip Frappuccino because it's my all-time favorite. Or the other thing would have been like in between the Chick-fil-A cookies and cream milkshake. However, because it was Sunday here in the state of Texas, I could not go to Chick-fil-A because it's closed. I would have to wait till the following day. But anyhow, I told her, well, you know what, sweetie? I'm going to let you go. You enjoy the rest of your evening, which we let go of each other. And what's funny, within minutes, I don't know, something just told me I'm starting to get real hungry. And I said, you know what? I told my little toddler, let's go to Whataburger. I'm hungry. I don't feel like cooking. I just got this nudge. This is the action part. Okay. I took action. I drove to the Whataburger. I get to the drive-thru and this lady hands me my baby's drink, and then she gives me my other drink I ordered, and then she gives me another drink, a third drink. And I was like, I said, what is this? And that's where I was like, wait, that is for me. Inside of me, I already knew that's for me. I had to receive it. So I received the milkshake. I didn't tell her nothing afterwards. And then I got home and I texted a screenshot to my daughter, right? And I said, oh my God, that's so crazy. Look what I just received. I was like, I attracted a milkshake. It was vanilla. And she starts like telling me what? Like she was so caught off guard. But you know, what the beautiful thing was, I learned that the minute you have a desire, it doesn't matter what it is. I've already expressed my story about an ice cream, guys. I wasn't specific enough in my vision, but it was in between those things. But there's something that I also wanted to share that is so good in the Bible. It talks about on Matthew 6:23, actually, there's a verse there where he says, is it Matthew? Yes, I believe it's Matthew. If not, correct me. I do believe that God will give us what we need. He will truly give us what we need in the moment of asking. It's so crazy to me. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't get mad because I wasn't specific, but I just saw somewhat of what I thought I wanted. I was in between two things, and he's like, "Well, we're gonna give you vanilla." So, which is funny because chocolate, cookies and cream, obviously vanilla, right? So, yes, our Father knows what we need. He knows that we need shelter. He knows we need food. He knows that you need everything, but there's nothing to lack. He always provides. And we always limit ourselves to not feel like we're fully deserving of this because we don't connect with our Father that is in heaven, which is us. Sometimes we have to really slow down to be able to receive these things. And slowing down for me that weekend was I wasn't going to do anything. When I get into my feminine energy, y'all, I will go get a massage. I will not do anything. I won't work. I won't do nothing. Like I will sleep in all morning. I will stay in my pajamas, have breakfast with my little one, and just take my time, and I'll ignore people that I don't feel like talking to because they don't deserve my energy. So, in order for me to fill my cup, I will have to set my boundaries as a woman. And even if you're a man watching, you also have to do the same thing. So you do have the yin and the yang. We have feminine and we do have masculine energies, but some of us don't really know how to sit with our feminine because we feel like we have to do more. We feel like we have to try harder. We feel like we're not deserving. We're not worthy. We don't trust. And the feminine energy, and I know you're probably thinking, well, what does that got to do with God? That's important. He, the creator, even though he states, right, everybody rest on Sunday, I do believe that within that energy of the man and the woman, he created the woman out of the man. It was because there was something that the man needed because he lacked something. He felt empty without it. Had he not asked for that, he would have never created the woman. So I do think that, again, I'm not going to get too spiritual about it, but I do believe that had it only been a man creation, this is why a lot of people right now don't even know how to exist because they're still trying to find that feminine energy, which is within yourself, sacred energy. And I do see it a lot. I do see it a lot, and this is why a lot of women are not receiving what they deserve because they are lacking something. So they're going out to search it for outside people, external noise, everything. I don't want to name specifics because I don't want to trigger anybody here, but I do believe that we lack a lot of stability within ourselves because we don't even know how to sit still with ourselves. I do believe that when we come out of our mother's womb, when we conceive, we do carry whatever it is that mother had. So, in order for us to feel that pain, we had to feel the pain of the void, the stillness. There's also another verse where he talks about, be still, know that I am God. So, in the stillness, y'all, this is where I say that sometimes a moment to yourself is very important. It could shift timelines, it could shift your identity, it could shift how you feel that day. And I've been practicing methods every day to help with my stability in my mental process, in my heart space, in my groundiness. There's certain things that I have avoided, but I had to go through those things to learn what it was that I was starting to see within myself. I know that it may not be your day sometimes, but sometimes that day has something that is on the other side, which is shift, which is transformation. And finding enlightenment can truly mean just being still with yourself. And if you're not in that side of spirituality, that's perfectly fine. I don't expect for you to invoke something because I said something to you today. I truly don't expect nothing out of this. I don't. I truly don't. I'm just sharing my knowledge. And all that I desire is to share my knowledge and wisdom through my real life scenarios. So I want to end it on this positive note today. Whatever it is that you desire, you know that it's yours. It's yours. The minute you had the thought, the minute you had that vision, any goal, dream, that is yours, babe. And it's going to be done because you were the one who implanted that seed. You have to nurture it with your heart. Anyhow, you guys have an amazing week. I will see you on the next episode. I love you and you take care.